Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's Comic Shop Adventure, the weekly show where I go on my weekly excursion to the comic book shop and come back with a bounty of all things geeky and great. Start off every episode with what I thought about last week's bounty. The thing that I was really excited to talk about this because every book I picked up last week was very, very good. I mean, like I remember last week, kind of mentioning how certain books I kind of felt myself just going through the motions picking it up. There was nothing like that. Everything was a hit on my pull list last week. Start off with Deadpool. The end of Jerry Dugan's run. It was the conclusion, despite me not knowing in the weeks past. But the story arc concluded. His run concluded. He actually makes an appearance in the book, which is very, very good and very, very well done. Jerry Dugan really understood how to write Deadpool, how to balance the comedy, the action, the violence, the ridiculousness of that character. So I felt he did a really good job, and it was very, very well done. Old Man Logan, which I remember really singling out last week, that I just kind of go through the motions. I just love the character enough to keep buying the book, even though it's kind of been pretty iffy in the last weeks. Not the case here. Old Man Logan was great. Old Man Logan, it's almost like it's the Old Man Logan kind of in the Wolverine and the X-Men similar situation from that book that I really, really enjoyed. That was very well done. The weekly Scott Snyder Justice League miniseries, No Justice. That was a good book. I'm very interested to see how this plays out. Flash and Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps. I can't say enough good things about those books. I mean, you hear me talk about how much I like them every week. The Flash storyline is very well done. The Hal Jordan and Green Lantern Corps was very, very interesting with not only are they continuing the story that they started, but they kind of still had a throwback to the previous story arc with Zod and had a very, very good fight scene with Jon Stewart and Zod. I really, really enjoyed that. And unfortunately, the one that was kind of the weakest, and that doesn't necessarily mean it was a bad book, it was just the weakest for this pull list, was Detective Comics. And just, it was kind of a little hard to follow. I had to read it a couple times to kind of get my head around it. And even still, I have a lot of questions. So, but with the way the book has been going, if it ends up being a very, very good story arc, I could look back on this and just realize it was just a piece of a puzzle that gets explained and, be very, very good. Really, really enjoyed Stephanie Brown. I mentioned on my free comic book day edition that I really enjoyed the Robin series from the 90s. So really, really enjoyed all of this. And it was just a very, very good pull. Like I said, the weakest book on the list was still very good. So yeah, pretty nice. Pretty excited to see what the bounty will be this week, and I will share that with you when I come back. So, see you in a bit. Hello, everyone. Well, I am back here at the homestead here at Athletic Geek HQ, and whew, it was a big one this week. It was a big pull. It was also big in terms of figures and collectibles. So, we ain't gonna waste any more time. Let's get started. Here on the Marvel side of things, we have Avengers #2. By Jason Aaron, Ed McGuinness. Big fan of Jason Aaron's work, and seeing him on the main Avengers title, well, I'm on board. The first issue, it was a good issue, but Jason Aaron has this huge standard that he has to live up to. So I'm not going to say disappointed. It's just use my ever-present baseball analogy. Maybe he hit a double when I was expecting a home run, but still, I'm on board with this book, and we'll see what #2 brings. We have Captain America 702 by Mark Waid. Just found out today that Waid is leading this book, so I'm kind of wondering how his run will end up, and if it will intrigue me enough to want to keep the book when the next writer comes around. But I like Mark Waid. I like Captain America. Still on board for right now. We go from Captain America to Daredevil #602. Charles Soule's run on Daredevil continues, and it's okay. This is one of those motion books that I just love the character, and it's not a bad book. It's just not really as good as past Daredevil books I've read, and I mean that with no disrespect intended, but the Mayor Fisk stuff was good, and they're kind of building off of that, so we'll see where 602 goes. From there we have X-Men The Wedding Special, 3 Tales of Mutant Matrimony in the Making. Really excited about this. It's by, there's 3 different stories in there. One is actually by probably the best X-Men writer ever, Chris Claremont. Kind of factoring into the Colossus Kitty Pryde wedding. So, then other story is Mark Guggenheim and Greg Land, and then Kelly Thompson and Marika Cresta. I hope I said that name right. So we'll see how this is and how this is going to keep playing into the wedding between Colossus and Kitty Pryde. Should be good. Most things Claremont does is good, so, or are good, I guess I should say. And then from there, the final Marvel book is Cable. And again, this is just, been really liking it, but this is another kind of one of those motion books for me where I like the character. The story's not terrible because I haven't cut it from the pull list, but it's kind of one of those books that I'm more so just, hey, I want to keep picking it up because I like the character. It's not really sticking with me or, kind of being any earth-shattering stories or anything for me right now, but, still, I enjoy me some Cable, and I'm going to enjoy more Cable whenever I go see Deadpool this weekend. So we go from the Marvel side of things to the DC side of things. We have Justice League, No Justice #2, the weekly series by Scott Snyder. And it's just, I'm interested to see where this goes. They've in the first story, they've kind of been Brainiac's there, and he's broke the Justice League into like 4 different squads. So this is, see where this goes and see how this plays into Justice League, the ongoing title going forward. So really excited about that one. Aquaman #36. Picked that up this week. Aquaman unfortunately has fallen a little bit since the DC Rebirth. When they first started the DC Rebirth, Aquaman was one of the best books they were putting out. And again, it's just one of those, I'm going to keep picking it up because I like the first time. It's kind of gone from here to about here now. Still a good book, still not worth, I enjoy enough to not cut from my pull list. But, again, it's just not on the level that it was when the DC Universe did their rebirth back in the summer of 2016. But still a really good book. We got next up the Superman Special. Escape from Dinosaur Island. It's Peter Tomasi, and they're kind of going into the Bendis Man of Steel here, so I don't know, it's kind of, I like Tomasi writing Superman, so decided to pick this up. Batman #47. Kind of going into the whole future thing with Booster Gold, before they eventually, go back to the wedding story arc. I know they're going to be continuing that very, very shortly, the wedding of Batman and Catwoman, but this seems to kind of be like a small little interlude before that, so yeah, just I've loved this run on Batman, and what my skepticism at first is kind of lightened a little bit. I'm still, cautiously optimistic about it, but I have really enjoyed this book so far. And from there we go Batwoman #15, and this is been a really, really good arc so far. This has been one of my favorite books. I get really excited when I know that I'm getting a Batwoman on my pull list, so definitely looking forward to reading this. And I like that cover. Just you can get a good look at that cover. It's just looks so cool. So really excited to read this. And then finally we have Green Lanterns #47. I've talked a lot about the storyline they've been doing with Jessica Cruz's memories. I believe I read this is the finale of that story arc, so I'm interested to see how it ends, and I hope it's really, really good, and I hope I'm right when I say it's the finale. I might be mistaken, but yeah, always a very, very good book, always consistently very, very good. The Green Lanterns, the buddy cops in space, it's just awesome book, awesome run, really enjoyed it. Alright, from there we go to collectibles, and we'll start with the Marvel Legends. Picked up a couple of those. Got this really, really cool Infinity War Thor figure, Marvel Legends figure. I think it's a pretty good looking little figure. It's going to look great with the rest of them. It's actually the first Thor figure that I have. I need to probably go back and find an old Thor Ragnarok with the with Mjolnir to go along with this one. But still, really good figure. Really nice one to add to the collection. And then we have a Marvel Cinematic Universe Ant-Man and the Wasp Ant-Man figure. Kind of see on there. It's hard to tell in the camera. It really looks like Paul Rudd. So, gonna put this with the rest of the NCU figures over there. And then finally, the second wave of these little statuettes from DC in the Batman the Animated Series is out. And so you got, first one is Mr. Freeze, and these are really cool. They look really cool, especially for a fan of the series like I was. And they come with a nice little magazine to tell about the history of the character on the television show. And the wave looks really good. You got Scarecrow, Riddler, Two-Face, Catwoman, and Batgirl as part of this this collectible series. This is really nice. I've got all the other ones, so I'm going to continue to collect this. I think they look really cool. But yeah, that is the bounty for this weekend. Whew! Whew! What a big one. 11 books. 1 statuette, 2 action figures. It was a big one. I'd love to know what you guys had on your pull list and what you guys picked up at your local comic shop. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys picked up. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And if you would like to hear more about all things geek culture, not just comic books, but anime and pro wrestling and many more, go like the Facebook page down in the description at www.facebook.com/athleticgeek89. But other than that, I'm out. Have a good one.